Do not attempt to adjust your speakers. The sounds that you're about to hear are various sounds that come from a human's mouth. So this is what we came with.
So, I, being a stepfather figure, sometimes I'm a little relaxed or unaware of the shenanigans that kids offer and they're being rude. But Xavier's at this, I think just like any kid, right? They sometimes they, for no reason at all, will just put up a stink for something, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, why are you making this so difficult?
Yeah.
So enough. So anyways, I wanted breakfast one morning.
Okay.
And I was on my way back, actually, I think from here, drive right by Wendy's. So I got Wendy's breakfast. Has anybody here had Wendy's breakfast?
No.
Okay, well, you're missing out. Wendy's breakfast is unreal. They also, okay, separate note, they have French toast sticks, Dibble French toast. Whatever the fancy chefs do. Yeah, so good, so good. Anyways, so I just got them standard English muffin, egg, cheese. You can't really mess that up, can you? It doesn't matter where you get English muffin, egg, cheese from. But he was just like, oh, Wendy's breakfast is disgusting, blah, blah. Just hated Wendy's. He was just going after Wendy's. And then eventually we gave him like every reason that kind of proved him wrong. And you know when kids are like out of excuses, they still try to make up some wild stuff. So what he does, his route was just to start making fun of Wendy herself on the bag. So didn't want the and he goes, look at her. She probably doesn't even make breakfast. I'm like, what? Don't bring Wendy into this. Jeez. This has nothing to do with her.
Look at her. Does she look like she knows how to make breakfast?
Like, hey now, settle. Had to separate them, right? And Wendy was about to start swinging at him. Yeah. It was an incredible start to my morning the other day. I'm like, dude, just eat the sandwich. And he ate it and it was just fine. It was just fine.
Well, he has a problem with Wendy's. I have a problem with Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, we all got our thing. We all got it. Yeah. Hayden's got some beef with the king himself, the Burger King. He was telling me the other day, like that guy. I take the crown off that guy's head. He ain't no king. That's so good.
God, that is so funny.
Do you guys have a favorite fast food breakfast? Do you have preferred? Is it Tim Hortons or is it McDonald's or is it A&W?
Favorite. Honestly, I don't have a favorite. None of the food is good. It's just whatever will. I'm sorry. None of the fast food is really good at all. Absolutely not.
That's why it's fast.
Yes.
He's a slow food kind of guy.
Yeah.
Can we make that? Do you think that would sell? If you made like, if you just like had I was not a fast food. I was a slow food restaurant. You're all about like you know, no, you're not driving through, but like it's like a restaurant. You are known for not being fast, but it's good food and it's all about atmosphere.
But isn't that every restaurant?
Well, sure, but they don't advertise it like that.
The restaurant should be like, we're not fast food, we're slow food.
Yeah. Well, it's just kind of like Buckley's. Like it tastes bad, but it works. Right? Like, why would you say that? Right? But guess what?
Yeah,
it works.
You own up to what it is. Yeah.
You own up what to it is. Right? So you just gotta. I don't know. I think it's worth a shot. Do you have any energy or time to start another business, Ronnie?
No.
Okay.
Especially not restaurant business. Hell no.
Waste of time. God. Waste of time.
But no, none of the fast food is really good at all. Honestly, if it was up to me, I would make sure like entrees are available faster. Like when you go to restaurants, you get an entree. Like I would take a steak and broccoli and asparagus with mashed potatoes any day, anytime.
Hayden, did you catch that? The emphasis that he had on asparagus. Did you hear that? Asparagus.
I said asparagus.
Yeah, that's not. No one says that. Steak and asparagus.
Call me asparagus.
It's just asparagus.
Asparagus.
Why are you putting the emphasis on the ass? That's weird.
Asparagus. But
like chocolate, that's like you saying chocolate milk, but chocolate milk.
I can say chocolate milk.
No, you can't.
It's still said it's still spelt the way it is
Whatever.
spelt.
Sorry, we're gonna spend lots of time in the weeds here. What number episode is this,
Ladies and
Rhoni?
gentlemen, welcome to For the Record podcast, episode number 18.
18. Whoa.
We're here.
We're legal.
We
We can drink in Manitoba, not in the States or Saskatchewan.
as of this episode number, we can. That means we missed our Sweet 16.
We didn't miss our Sweet 16. We talked
Like you
about
didn't
it.
talk
That
about
was
our
a whole
Sweet
thing.
16.
Yes, we did talk about our Sweet 16 on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
The intro was like a whole thing about
I
the
know.
Sweet 16 and how you hated Sweet 16. And then we kept bringing up Sweet
Yes,
16.
and,
right.
and
Oh,
remember,
right.
you've been in Canada for almost
Dude,
16
that feels
years.
like so long ago, but it's now, I don't remember it all.
All right,
But
well,
now that's that. But my name is Rhoni, and we have JJ Man.
JJ, man, you really got to get better at these. You got to come in with a plan, or you're just going to start spitting some nonsense.
JJ Man on this podcast. So today we're going to talk about engagement. It's engagement season right now.
We're not going to tell people how to get engaged.
Yes.
We're going to
that's-
talk
that's
about
on you, buddy.
That's on you.
But people got engaged. Now they're like, what now?
Yes.
So
What to do now?
I think being in this industry for so long as we've been in knowing a few things, I think we could help them with a couple pointers,
We know some things and stuff.
things and stuff.
Things and stuff. I'll take care of the stuff. You can have the things.
Like I'll definitely
We'll
take care
educate
of
the people.
things.
Hayden, you got any knowledge over there?
None.
None. Okay. Well, please.
Hayden's neither engaged nor married, so I think he's gonna have to take pointers from us on this one.
Well, this is actually, yeah, that's fair. We got married, engaged, and just happily, gleefully in love. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
God.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
Oh
It's,
Lord, listen to this place. But I have 5 sort of major topics that major sort of headings that I want to cover in terms of what to look for after you're engaged. You're engaged. Now what? Here's what I think you should focus on. And I think we can dive deeper into a whole thing of each episode, but I think we're going to keep it informative on 5 of those.
Let's do it.
Okay. First thing, expectations.
Well, that's really broad. Okay. Expectations of what?
Expectations of what they want.
Okay. Well, I expect they want to get married.
Well, that's at the very bottom base
Okay.
minimum.
Well,
right?
we're starting a funnel effect. Okay.
Yes,
we're going,
okay.
why? We're getting more specific.
Absolutely.
Give me some more.
Got
Give me
it.
some more pieces
I
here.
think people need to, if you're engaged, you need to figure out, okay, what do I want and what is my dream, right? So again, it's a lot of people, a lot of brides, especially, and again, you think about your wedding. For quite a while, you've got Pinterest boards already in the works that you've already started even before you're engaged, but you've got your dream that you're thinking about.
Okay.
You go to weddings and you look at it, I'm like, oh, not that. I'd like that. You have those ideas. So those are expectations that you're building up in your mind
Okay.
of what you want and what you don't want. So I think when people start planning their wedding, they should first put their expectations and figure out what do they want, what do they not want. And then that's going to lead into my next point, which is prioritizing.
Okay.
And we'll start with expectations first.
Expectations. So, too, I think you have to take, maybe budget comes in later, but
Yes.
I think a part of expectations has to be money, like as well. You have to keep that like realism involved with that. Like before you even get to priorities, your expectations, like, yeah, like you have to start with broad first.
Yeah.
Like generally you want to get married. Do you want to like general concepts, indoor, outdoor, blah, 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 like those types of things, and then work down. But one of them has to be like, what's realistic in terms of pricing and location and time.
Even let's go all out. Put your expectations on your vision board. Put everything up on the wall and go, okay, now out of all of this, what is realistic? What is priority? And what is affordable, right?
Sure.
So those are, I think, that's how you drill down. Expectations, your broad top of the funnel here.
Yep.
And then you sort of dwindle it down.
Yep.
Right? So then I think people have to understand it's not bad or it's not, oh my God, I'm not going to have this or that. The point is, it is what you have in mind. It's not what, doesn't matter what everybody else is doing or trendy or whatever. It's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So take that and then let's start making it realistic, right? So I think first things people have to understand is put their expectations on the board and figure out what they want.
Yeah, and I think what you want, but knowing. I don't know if I like how broad this is, but I'm alongside it. But you just have to think of so many different pieces. Yeah, it all relates to money. It relates to time of year. It relates to a lot of things. So like once you come up with an idea, you have to know if there's anything that's going to derail that idea, I guess would be. Whether it be cost, whether it be time of year, whether it be number of guests, whether it be like this. So like, because you can start making those other decisions a lot easier if you have those priorities in check.
And on a completely different note, maybe they don't want a guest in a venue and this.
Hold up.
Right?
Yep.
They could completely want something small and intimate anywhere else. And that's your expectation. That's what you want. But then are you switching it sort of begrudgingly to what you want to fit for the rest of them? Like that's something you got to decide, right?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you want to enjoy the process, but you have to start with that and choose what you want and stick to it in a sense that this is what I wanted and this is what we're going to get. Yeah. But that leads to my next point, priorities, which we're talking about. So in terms of that expectation, we come down to priorities of, okay, what is more priority to me?
Yeah. So you have this list of expectations, the things you want, what's more important. You start to rank them.
Yes.
Rank them.
Put them 1 to 5, 1 to 10. Okay, this is what I want first. For some people, it's, I want my guests to have the best food possible. Sometimes it's the location, right? I want a beautiful location. Sometimes it's the decor. Sometimes it's your own dress and how you look. Or it's about the photos. It's about the video. So what is your priority here? Rank them.
Yep.
1 to 10. Put them 1.
Be
ruthless.
Be selfish. Be whatever you want. That is okay. A lot of people do weddings and think like, they don't prioritize their thoughts. Like it's all right to want your guests to have the best time. We actually touched on this with Danielle a little bit. Like she was just like, I just want my guests to have the best time. And she wanted her girls to have the best time. She put herself last.
100%.
I would argue that you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's your wedding. You want to be happy and not be worried about everything else. And you're also going to stress yourself out way more if you're worried about other people.
Yes.
Because the opinion, like, you ever, if you're cooking your family dinner versus if you're cooking dinner for like a group of people.
Yeah.
Right. You are like, you're thinking about, don't ever, so this is something I heard the other day. If you're having a party with a whole bunch of people, don't ask, and you're like, say you're ordering pizza. Don't ask for what types of pizza you want to order. Don't do it. Just order the pizza. People will be fine. If you just order a nice kind of smorgasbord, a couple of cheese, a couple of pepper, a couple of pineapple, whatever, just do that. If you start asking for opinions.
Oh, God.
Right? Like, don't ask your wedding people for really specific advice on your wedding, unless like you're coming from a point of experience. But next thing you know, one of your bridesmaids, she's gonna be taken over and start, like, it's not her wedding, it's your wedding.
Right.
Input is different than like taking serious opinions of it.
It's input. And here's the thing with input, because there's so many people around you, there's going to be so many inputs coming your way.
Yeah.
And there are going to be inputs from people who got married, inputs from people who went to weddings, input from people who got married 20 years ago.
Cool.
Like this, like there's so many inputs from different perspectives.
At that wedding, that was really neat.
It is only going to confuse you.
Yeah.
So prioritize, figure out your expectation, prioritize it. Again, be ruthless, put exactly what you want. Doesn't matter the cost, but what is going to get you realistically, what the next part of the funnel is getting you to a realistic point. Okay, now I want all of this, but what is it going to cost?
Yep. Put a price point on each one.
Then comes the budget, right?
Yeah, affordability.
So then you have to figure out, okay, is this at this cost? Is it what I want? It might be what you want. It might be the best photographer you've ever wanted, always wanted, or it might be the best food you've ever wanted. So if that's the priority, then you're leaving it at the priority, which is great. But now is when you have to start working out the money part of it that is going to match those priorities.
Yes. Wait, hold up. Before you guys get too far into these shenanigans we're about to talk about, here is a quick ad read. Man, I just wish I had access to professional lighting, a professional backdrop, and a wonderful gallery for all my photos. I know what you're thinking. You at your next social or wedding, you want Trident photo booths. It's as easy as getting a hold of us, tridentphotobooths.ca, or through social media. We can be at your event. If you want the most user-friendly, easy experience for your guests and for you to keep track of all of your photos from your guests in that evening, with props, with awesome lighting, and just fantastic vibes, we want to give that to you with Trident photo booths. Get a hold of us on social media, and we will be at your next event. Mixed in around here, I want to bring up this point too, is I don't know what your other two are, but like logistics brought in there. So say you've done your priorities, and your priority, one of your priorities is venue. Okay, before you look at price, you kind of have to know if that venue is available and when it's available, or one of your vendors, like at this price point time while you're getting, but you have to know availability.
And what is the closest second, right?
Yep. And no
you have
alternatives.
To figure out what your closest second option is. Okay, let's say they're not available. What could I go for that I'm still happy with?
We have a lot of people inquiring right now post New Year's, post Christmas, because a lot of engagements, right? And some people are going right for 2025. They're finding whatever weekend. They want to get this whole wedding thing done real quick, right? And they want to just get after it and rightfully so. Sometimes that wedding process is stressed them out. They just want to get it done. But there's also the other side where it's like, hey, 7 months till summer, not as much time as you think.
No.
And there's also not as much availability. So like, hey, I want to fire hall. I want my wedding to be a fire hall, but like there's only one weekend available in 2025 yet this year, and it's not on a good weekend. Like just wait.
100%.
Wait,
just enjoy being engaged, because it's a process. Because
don't rush it.
Being engaged is a sort of time period in your life. It's a chapter in your life where you're excited to what's to come and what the future looks like. And that part, you don't want to, you want the future to happen, but you won't want to rush it. You want to enjoy the process. You want to sort of, put together, have an appreciation for what you guys have had so far. And now that you're moving into a bigger step in life, it's a process that you want to enjoy. So take your time. It's fine. Again, I sometimes I tell people, again, if you got engaged in like Christmas, this past Christmas and New Year's, and you're like, oh man, I'm like, do I do the wedding now or do I wait? Wait. If you were thinking that, just wait. If you're thinking, should I do it this coming year or next year? Just wait. Just enjoy the process. Now you have a lot more time to figure out your expectations and your priorities. Yep. And then when you get to it, you plan it. And planning, honestly, is a fun part.
Yeah. Like planning is fun. Yeah.
It's the part where you get to sort of, okay, either this is the time you hang out with your girls at the dress store and sort of try on different things, and those memories, the part of it, not just in the trode, but the time period you guys are hanging out, you're talking about things.
The destination.
100%. And for the boys, it's just, the things that they do, right? So it's all part of that process. So going from expectations into priorities and being realistic with your budget.
Yep.
Now the next part is vendors, which you touched on, which is where we're right now. So always have a second and be willing to sort of maybe compromise a little bit on, maybe this is not what I wanted budget-wise. Yep. So maybe this will be the closest second, right? But that being said, if it's more priority to you, don't compromise. Just go ahead, full steam, figure out a way to get there, and then, you'll be happy that you did.
When you're looking at vendors, what is something that I guess we can go, again, prioritize, or what do you expect out of your vendors? Like if we put money aside and you're talking to someone, trying to see if you're going to work with them in some way, what are you listening for?
To my next part, vibes. So when you're choosing, again, at the bottom of the funnel is you figure out expectations, priorities, budget, vendors. Now you look at vibes. Do they match your personality? Do they match your style? Do they actually feel like they will create the best atmosphere for you on your wedding day? Because think about it. You're going to start talking to people that you've never talked to from the time you start planning, and then you'll talk to them up until the day of the wedding.
Yes.
They'll be there, and then they're done.
Yep.
That's it. But you have that time period that you're working with them, which is about a year. Let's say a year to 8 months to a year.
Yep.
In that time period, you want that to be the best experience for you. And you want to feel like, yes, this person gets me. This person is going to ultimately fill the top of my funnel, which is match my expectations.
Sure.
So that's what you want to look for.
Mm-hmm.
And vibes is important.
Yeah. And there are a lot of good services out there, right? Like I would say still our primary is music and sound. That's our majority of what we do. There are a lot of good DJs out there. There's a lot of not good DJs, but there's a lot of good DJs out there. And this is not to say we are better or worse than them, but when you talk with, like, that's why we also encourage a call.
100%.
You know, you can, if you want to base it off the numbers and just off of an email, you can, but like calling someone, seeing their face, meeting with them, it will answer some questions that you have that you didn't even know you had, right? Just knowing, like how they present themselves, how they talk about, like the way they talk about weddings, how specific, I know we know a lot of good DJs out there, and their vibe is going to be different than our vibe, and that's okay. And that might work with some people. There's a lot of weddings. There's only so many events that we can do. Yeah. And that's why sometimes if like we're busy on a day, we'll refer out because we 100%. Understand the person. It's like, hey, actually, like, you know what photographer would work well with you?
100%.
Or you know what, DJ, like you should see if they're available. Sorry that we can't help you. Mm-hmm. Because that's a detail. Like you said, vibes, environment, the way you feel. Because it's huge.
And the people that are there, and then yes, as much as the photos look great, as much as I've heard this DJ is great, as much as this decor looked great on the photo, being there in person and either looking at it and understanding the people behind it and their personality and passion behind it will make it that much more smoother for you mentally when you're planning something. Because that's the part here that is going to start stressing you out, is you start thinking, is it going to happen? Or is that going to look like this? Or is this going to look like this? Because that part that you're going to stress about mentally is going to be fixed because the people that you choose, who you've actually felt a connection with. And when they understand you and you understand them, the process gets that much more smoother.
It's crazy. And we mentioned this a bit with Danielle. We've talked about this in ad nauseum, just in our own, like, people will make choices about the person over top of what they're actually getting in terms of service. People will decide, they will make their choice based off of that.
100%.
Right? If someone thinks Hayden is super cool, relatable, they could give two shits whether they're like really talented at what, like, you obviously have a prerequisite, right? Like if someone is in a business of photography, you would probably have an expectation that they are a photographer, and you'll see some things. And as long as they're not utter rubbish, then it's fine, right?
Yes.
But if you can go from a call, or you meet them, or you saw them, or like you hung out with a different event, and that's why business, like advertising, is just you out and about,
right?
It's like, oh man, yeah, Hayden, he's cool.
Right.
I'd even just like him at my day, right? Like that is that experience of how you feel with your photographer and videographer behind the scenes is almost more important than the photos themselves.
100%.
Isn't that crazy? You're spending a lot of money on a photographer, but what you don't understand that you're getting someone who's alongside you for your whole day.
100%.
Right? You don't want to feel like you're, I don't know, walking on eggshells around and you're like awkwardly pausing.
Or you don't know them. Posing, because trust me, you've never bought a wedding dress before. You've never had your fiance in a suit before. You've never sort of both of you hung out in that same clothes all day, taking photos with those kind of, and in that kind of environment with everybody looking at you. Yeah. There's so many variables here that you have never experienced in your life. But the photographer that you're going to choose, or, this applies to any vendor, they're going to actually walk you through that process and make you feel like it was every other day, right? Because those are things you've never done. Those are things they've actually experienced every week in, week out. Yeah. And they're going to make you feel comfortable. And that, how do you know? if they're going to make you feel comfortable, comes down to the vibes of who they are, how they work, and are they going to be a good fit.
Yep.
So that's, I think, is how it's going to work, how you're going to figure out if the vendor is going to work out for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I feel like there was a bit of a Hayden glazing going on. Did he pay you to do that, or got cut?
Still got that 20. Yeah, I do. I know. Hayden's a cool cat. We just like we don't get to see his face. The reason why is if he was sitting here, you guys would be looking at him and not us. But
there's a reason he's behind the camera.
Yeah, he's behind the camera. Yeah,
cool. But I think if you want to recap that one again, figure out what your expectations are, prioritize those expectations. Now, match those priorities with your budget.
Mm-hmm.
And once you have the budget, then start looking at the vendors and make sure the vendors match your vibes.
Yep.
These are the top 5 things I think you have to start looking at if you're engaged. And once you start going down that funnel, everything else, and repeat that with every vendor, every facet of the day. If you want decor, if you want music, if you want photos, if you want food, if you want clothing, and sort of put that the funnel on top of every facet, and then you arrive at a place where you're going to be super satisfied and absolutely enjoy the experience across the board from planning.
Yep. And, when you look at specifically what's more important to one person, the other person, like there is no right answer. Like this is yours. Like
yes.
We do this right now, Rhoni, of all the different vendors and facets and things like that. What are your top 3? Order them 1, 2, 3. What are your most important? You did it yourself with a wedding, but
definitely venue.
Venue's number 1.
Venue's number 1 because you're going to spend a lot of time in that place. And second is, I think the second could be different for everybody. But in my head, if it was up to me, I would start looking at the experience of the guests and what is going to start with there. And I feel like guest experience primarily hinges on food, alcohol, the entertainment, that sort of stuff. The third part is, again, the memories for you that you can hold on to.
You're still putting guests over yourself?
Yes.
Okay.
So I would definitely put guest experience over. The reason being, you are inviting them all there, and they are there to celebrate you, and you have to curate yourself to showcase what they're about to see. And in a sense, what I mean, they want to go to a party and go, or they want to go to your wedding and go, damn, I went to John and Jane's wedding and it was the best time we've ever had. And that applies across the board. This could mean the ceremony was beautiful. This could mean the food was great. And this could mean the environment was amazing. Now, it's all guest experience, right? So that's what I would put first, and then go into photos and capturing all of that. That's priority for you for sure. Because everything else is, you have the option to choose. Oh, you don't like a dress at a certain bridal place? Cool. I got to go to a different one, right? So you have the option to choose. But with those, there's minimal option to choose.
Yeah, and I think I'm with you for certain things. Like when I think about it, I think about timeline maybe being in my top 3. Like if I get specific there, timeline, because, and maybe that is hinged on guest experience a little bit. But the last thing I want, but it's selfish. It's like, I don't want to just be spinning my tires, like spending a lot. Like when I get married, for me, I hate multiple venue weddings.
Yes.
Oh man, you know what? And this is not to insult anybody who does this, but you are probably doing that because you envision the ceremony being a certain way, and you vision that, like that, and that's fine. You can prioritize that, and if it's worth it, like if you're like, holy smokes, this,
that's what they want.
Yeah, and this ceremony is a beautiful location. I get that, but especially if you're gonna have kids at your wedding, especially if you have lots of people.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's nothing worse than getting in a little minivan, driving 30 minutes, and you got to go 30 minutes, and you got to burn an hour until you get to the other location, and then you do that, and I don't. Done are the days of the full day. Like just put it in there. Don't waste people's time.
And again,
that's going to ruin someone's guest experience. You have the best food ever, best 100%. Music ever, but you know what they're going to remember? Holy smokes! I spent an hour and a half in the heat.
Ceremony.
doing nothing, right?
And that's part of it too, in a sense that, again, prioritize. What do you want? If it looks good. But at the same time, it's like, okay, am I going to want, your guests are going to start getting ready at like, if you want your ceremony to be at 3, your guests are going to start getting ready at 11 a.m., 12. So their day has already started then.
They're getting ready at 11?
11, 12, like ladies in the makeup and hair. And then now they have to drive
4
to the
hours
venue.
ahead? Maybe I'm just that easy. 4 hours? You're getting ready 4 hours ahead?
Men don't get ready that early. Women do. Trust me, they do.
I guess I'm gonna go. Sorry. Okay. Sorry. That's short-sighted of me. I'm thinking of timeliness. I'm like, man, I got stuff
and now
to
you
do.
have kids in here. You're gonna have to get the kids ready, and then you got to get ready, and
Get
then
ready yourself. Hey, 5-year-old little Johnny, put on your suit and tie. Get it. We'll be in the
suit and
car
tie,
in 30
socks,
minutes.
and shoes.
Yeah, get
The
there.
lace is untied. Tied.
Yeah,
Do
damn.
better.
Oh, you got your shoes in the wrong feet, man. You know.
So, and then by the time they get to their ceremony, and then your ceremony's at 3. Now, if you have a different location now there, once the ceremony's done, they got to go to another location, and then get ready there, and then cocktails. So it becomes a long day. So you don't want to do that for your guests. So you want to try to minimize the time between your ceremony to your reception, to your cocktail, to your party. So I think venues that do both in the same place, 100% a great place to start.
Yeah.
Again, that being said, my wedding was in a church, and that was 40 minutes from the reception area.
Yeah.
And then on top of that with
And was
traffic.
that, and like, as much as it probably was great, but you're just like, that was annoying, right?
That was annoying as hell. And I was like, we were sitting in traffic. A ceremony happened at 3:30. We were done at 4.
You spent your first
Literally inside
half
a
an
car
hour
with
married.
no AC. there was no. It was
how
a classic.
romantic.
It was a classic car, but there was no AC in the car. It was 31 degrees and hot.
Nice.
You roll down the window, all you got was smoke.
Oh,
it was
good.
bad. But again, we got married, walked out, and we were in the car for 30 minutes.
Nice.
But I think it was pretty nice too, because you were in the car just hanging out after you got married, and it was pretty cool. But it was just that, and then the commute to the venue, and then from there we gotta, it took a while. It took a while, but people were okay with it. But sometimes you might want to think about making different. But that being said, we have the top 5 you got to focus on if you're engaged. But happy engagement.
Season.
This is engagement season right now. So
You're under the tree. There's this big box, but this big, and then they open that up, and there's a box this big, and then open a box this big, open it this big, and then all of a sudden there's a little box, and they turn around, and
is that how yours happened?
no, no, it is not.
A Russian doll box.
No, it was not a Russian doll box. We go to a lot of concerts. The plan was to go to a concert together, and I was going to propose before the concert. She was going to rock her new hardware going to the concert. Then there was this thing. You guys remember that pandemic we had?
Oh, right.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, you know the thing. Anyways, so
Right.
it's slowed down.
Hayden's a non-believer, right?
Yeah. He's a non-believer. Denier. It changed our travel plans. So went from my envisioned like a balcony over top of a nice city skyline. How about our kitchen floor? It was great. Yeah. It was
Private, intimate, and personal.
Exactly.
There you
Yes,
go.
it checked those boxes. It was great.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was For the Record Podcast, episode 18. If you're engaged recently, congratulations.
Yep.
Now, happy planning. But other than that, I think we can wrap this up.
And reach out if you guys want like less to do with specifically wanting us to be at your wedding. Reach out with any questions. We
The thing is, we do so many things, and we've been in the industry for so long. If we don't have it, we probably have an answer for what you need or your issues you're going through. If we don't, we know a person who can help you with it. So that was always the thing. So, all right, close it out.
This here. Today we have our first noise. Okay, a noise. Yeah, this is a noise. Is this okay? Nice cup of coffee. Okay, nice a hot cup of coffee you just poured. Okay. Okay, you have that warm liquid touch your throat. Here, this is the sound. You guys catch that? I'll do it one more time for you. that warmth. It's a good cup of coffee makes you make that noise. It makes you make that noise.
So we're calling it the noise.
The noise. It's the coffee noise. Like unique ways to say coffee. Unique sounds you make
Got it.
You taking your coffee? Yeah.
I think we're scraping. We're scraping at the bottom right now.
What? That's, I
Yeah,
was
I
trying to
think
be
so.
unique. I could go with it. We got episodes. I got other words, but like that's. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
You get home.
Creative.
You know what? Reach out to us. Screw the wedding stuff. Don't reach out to us about questions about your wedding videographer. Do you guys make that noise when you have a nice warm cup of coffee? I bet you do. I bet you do. See you later. Sometimes I also make this noise when we drink coffee. Ka-chow.